The Hog Riders for Town Hall 13. Does it still work as a mass strategy? Well, of course it does, guys. They were the first troop to be given the 10th upgrade level within Clash of Clans, and in this video I will break down one of the most entertaining and exciting battles that we have had in Crunch Time for some time, winning our first Pinnacle Cup matchup, and we will be using the Hog Rider strategy. I will teach you how exactly it works before I get out into Legends League to try and mimic this success. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alrighty guys, let's dive straight into this. So for the Hog Riders, your main entry is going to be a queen charge. You can use a regular kill squad. You could still even use a Sui method. However, because of the addition of the Scattershot at Town Hall 13, it just makes it so much more difficult because of the extra splash damage. Now, what we have been seeing is a very successful hybrid minor Hog Rider attack strategy. If you are interested in seeing that one broken down, I will be sure to link it at the end of this video. However, the good thing about that is that because we now have the Royal Champion or the Queen on the inside of the base, the miners can deal with that. You don't have to worry about it. However, for the Hog Riders, you've got to. So on this one, fail time is going to send the Queen into this compartment. So it's a relatively easy funnel. The Queen can self-funnel pretty much these two buildings. Because there's gaps within it, she can drive down over. Now, we do use a baby dragon up to the top, but that's partly to help the funnel for the siege barracks as well. And the King will be responsible at taking out the trash buildings down the side. So it's relatively straightforward. The only thing is getting the wall breakers onto this layer of wall. Now remember that wall breakers target buildings, not walls. Whilst walls are what they will bust through, they are actually targeting a building. So if we were to deploy a wall breaker up in this region, it would actually target the bomb tower first. Hence why the Queen has to take out this bomb tower before the wall breakers will be drawn down into this area. So why don't we start the attack? We will continue to pause and break down this first attack, and then we will get into more of the Let's Play style of the video, where I try and take the Hog Rider attack into Legends League. Who knows whether I'll be successful or not, guys, but I try to bring you the educational but entertaining videos, and that is where I feel this brings a good mix. Now, if you are interested in seeing daily educational and entertaining Clash of Clans videos, be sure to subscribe to the channel and also turn on that notification bell. So I do like the recognition on this one of the bowler to just bounce the mortar. Now that's more important than you think, and when we get down to it, a siege barracks will be used to drive down this bottom area and just keep the Hog Riders on the inside, but the mortar will enable the hogs to come straight into the base. They're not going to be drawn to the outside straight away because of that mortar. However, the Queen over to the opposite side of the base, we've already mentioned, is drawn into that area. Now the wall breakers are the initial use to get us in. However, you can see there's a jump spell within the army composition, and that's very important. So the coconut loon can be used alongside the rage spell, actually help to take down the archer tower, and look at the freeze spell here on the multi-inferno. Now granted, when you are deploying your wall breakers this far away from the wall, sometimes you might deploy the wall breakers first, then move across and freeze this area, just so that by the time your wall breakers get to the wall, the freeze spell doesn't wear off. Now fail time basically gets this to perfection because the wall breakers get through the wall, bump, and then the freeze is gone. Any later and that would have been it. However, another freeze is used to take out the Queen. You don't always have to rage through the enemy Queen. Yes, as you are doing Queen charges, your typical use of the rage spell is onto the Queen and healers. However, take note of where your Queen is within this area. I would always recommend a couple of freeze spells, especially if you're wall breaking in. Obviously, that's going to let you, but the freeze spells are very adaptable, meaning that if you don't need them for the Queen charge, look at this. Into this area, we could use a freeze onto the Eagle, the Grand Warden statue, and the Scattershot. Whenever you can get good value like that, take the freeze spells, because you can use it on the Hogs, or likewise, if you need to, you can use it on the Queen. Now, my point that initially got me onto that subject was that you don't always need to use a rage. There's only one expo on the Queen here, so we only had to freeze the other Queen, and that was it. She was all good from that point. Now look at the King down to the bottom of the base. He not only funneled for the Queen, he actually gets down to the bottom and starts to take out some defenses, which is awesome, guys. And then we have the Hog Rider deployment. So the Hogs are basically funneling straight through the base. Look at where the town hall is. You either want to take down the town hall around about that 50% with the Hog Riders, and you'll need the Grand Warden's ability, or in an ideal world with the Queen. And Field Time really puts his neck on the line on this one in order to take it out with the Queen late on in the attack. But look at the pathing for the Hog Riders. Straight into the base here, we've got this narrow channel where they will go down, and because we've got the siege barracks working on this outer ring, it will funnel the Hog Riders down into the center of the base, where we have that dangerous Scattershot and Eagle. You always want to not just funnel your Hog Riders initially, but try to path them within the base. You don't want them just going into the base and then moving to the outside. Now, an important factor here is that Royal Champion. This is where, as I mentioned, if you are using miners and Hog Riders, what you can do is use the Royal Champion to the side of the base to try and sideswipe. So what that would do is take out some of these defenses to help drive the Hog Riders into the middle. However, if you are just using Hog Riders, you don't have that luxury, because they are defense targeting only. So the Royal Champion on the middle helps to not only take out defenses, but will help to take out any heroes as well, or potential troops that are in the middle, skelly spells even, if you want to go that far. But ultimately, the Royal Champion in with the Hog Riders is incredibly useful. She's very versatile and very protected with the Hog Riders. You don't need to worry about pathing with the miners. You obviously do, so that's where you can just send the Royal Champion straight in. However, I want you to take note of this jump spell as well. This is very carefully placed, because you might just think, oh yeah, we'll jump out of here onto the town hall, but actually putting the jump spell at the side and forcing the Queen down over, one, protects the healers because it keeps the healers out of range of the town hall, but also it kind of pushes the Queen down to this bottom area, because actually we want her to have access to the outside of the base. Now, push comes to shove, she actually decides to go over there for the enemy king and decides to go over the top of the town hall either way, but the jump spell is still in place, whereby she can get to the outside of the base easier because the Hog Riders can deal with the defenses on the inside, and then she can be drawn back around to help with the 6 o'clock area. But I haven't mentioned so far that this was the final attack in Crunch Time's victory for the Pinnacle Cup over King Geoffrey. It was an incredible war. I managed to catch most of it live on Twitch, and I will be streaming a lot of Crunch Time and their Pinnacle Cup matches, so you will find all of my Twitch information down in the description of this video, alongside my other social media platforms. Okay guys, so I actually have the Miner and Hog Rider Hybrid Attack already cooked up, so why don't we do one attack with that, and then I have the Queen Charge Hog Riders after this. So I've basically just deleted the miners off the army, added the Hog Riders, but this is one of your strongest Town Hall 13 attacks right now. The miners and the Hog Riders have been trying it the last couple of days, and it works really well. I did do a whole separate video on this. I will be sure to link you to it at the end of this one. However, I am taking quite a few defenses at the moment, guys, and I'm only managing to get like 2 or 3 attacks in per day, so I am currently well out of Legends League. In fact, I'm going to take a screenshot of that. 4,799 trophies still in Legends League. I wonder how low we could go. Technically, we could get to 4,600 if we got 3-starred every single one. Should we try it? We should. Maybe I could set up, you know what, even if I set up the worst base ever, I'm sure there would be someone that didn't 3-star it. But technically, we could lose 400 trophies, I think. Anyways, that's a different story, guys. Let's see what we come up against. Let's see if we can get a 3-star with this. So we have Mustafa of AFG Champions. Town Hall down with the Multi-Inferno. I've got 6 wall breakers, so we could break into this bottom compartment, get access to the Queen, the Town Hall. Might be the best option here, or going into the Eagle. Where's the Scattershots? Does he have Scattershots? That could be a bonus. I can't see any. Let's use the Queen down the bottom. Now, often with this strategy, you will want to try and kind of self-funnel. Now, what I mean by that is just let your Queen do what she wants to do. Yeah, like, let her do what she wants to do. So let's get the wall breakers in here. We can try and get a couple of layers in with the rage spells. And that's, I mean, I guess that's okay. We didn't get quite as far as I'd wanted to. We've got wizards coming out here along with a witch. So we can get that poison in. And I think, why don't we, under rage, the wall breaker will now go to the builder hut next to the town hall. So once we get this down, we can rage and we can use a wall. Oh no, it didn't. It targeted the Grand Warden statue. That's not what we wanted. But we actually pulled the next witch out. Not ideal, but it is what it is. Now let's use the king. Siege barracks on this side. Actually use the baby dragon and 2 balloons to that wizard tower. We will get the multi-inferno, then go to the town hall. This is pretty good. We can then get the miners across this right-hand side. Let's actually now go with the hogs and miners. Hogs, miners, king, Grand Warden. Queen turns back around, interestingly. Can get the Royal Champion from this top area. Then we've got the freeze and the heals for the Hog Riders. So we can heal here initially. We can freeze. Why don't we freeze this top area? There's the multi, the wizard tower, a lot of damage there. Royal Champion, Grand Warden's ability. I meant to press the Grand Warden's ability and I pressed the Royal Champion's for some unknown reason, guys. But let's carry on down into the back end of this base. Let's use the heal down into this area. And I'm saving onto the freeze for the moment. Don't know whether to use it on the multi or the... Yeah, let's use it. I used it on the multi and just as I did, the miners got there, guys. So not ideal, but let's try and just speed up the process to the top end of the base. We've got wizards, which will do that. We've got a minute with miners and hog riders all over the place. So that's where I'm saying this strategy is epic. Let's use that queen's ability. I wish the healers would like swap over right to the top of the base and go to the king, because then I wouldn't have to wait as long for my king to be done. Guess my royal champion's down. But anyways, guys, 3-star with the hogs and miners. Let's see if we can replicate that with the hogs to finish off the video. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm sure Mustafa's not, but I'm pretty happy with that as an attack. Let's move to the Hog Rider attack. So instead of having 15 Hog Riders and 15 miners, we just have 33 hogs. Remember that the miners are an extra troop capacity than the hogs, so that's how we can fit extra. Plus we've got 9 in the clan castle, so pretty heavy on the Hog Riders here. I don't know. I don't know what kind of base we're going to come up against, but let's check it out. One single target inferno, so better than initially thought. We could definitely queen charge into the town hall area, look, and that would give us a scattershot. I'd be a little bit worried about my healers getting in range of the multi-inferno, so we might have to start the Hog Riders from that area, use my king down this other side. That's probably the way to go, guys. Yeah, let's go for it. Let's go queen, 1 balloon, followed by the healers. Try and keep out of the way of the air defense there. Then 1 test wall breaker. I want to get busted through this area relatively early on. Test wall breaker doesn't quite get me through, but the Tesla on the other side is a bit of an issue. Need to wait until the lock onto the queen with that. So the 3 wall breakers come in. That should get me in. Oh no, they went down. They went down, so we're going to have to rage that wall breaker as well to get through. So that will get us in, but the queen has already started to walk. Let's use the king to try and force her back in, because if she goes for the gold storage, it's okay, but then she'll redirect to the town hall, as long as the king's done his job, which he does. He does a good job there, so he's got that down. Queen should redirect in. Come on, queen. Go to the town hall. Oh, she's not. She's not, guys. Okay, let's figure out what we're doing here. Let's figure this out. Let's freeze this because it's annoying my queen. Now she goes back in after I rage the healers, and they are going to be out of range. This goes on to my healers as well, so we can freeze the town hall. I really want the healers back inside that rage spell. Oof, only just, but nope, they're not back inside. So let's rage them back up. Let's use the siege barracks. We've got the balloons coming out. Hog Riders are going to have to come in now, guys. Oh, but I didn't see the balloons going to the king. That is not a good idea. That is not good. Let's use the royal champion. We've got 2 balloons for cleanup. But actually use them onto the archer towers there. Heal onto the hogs. Queen goes down. What's happening here? Grand Warden's ability. Enemy queen still alive. Let's use the queen's ability, the royal champion's ability. So much happening. Can we get it to work, guys? Scattershot onto the hogs. So I place a heal very quickly. The hogs have got past this area. We might still get it done. 2 wizards for cleanup. Let's get 1 on the outside. Oh, I thought we had a heal, but we don't. End-to-end stuff. Royal champion does not get the queen, but do we have enough hog riders to get it done? The plan was there. Execution might not have been initially. The queen walked and then went back. I virtually swagged a rage spell. But can you believe we're going to get this? Hog Riders, are they back? Are they back in the meta? Let me know in the comments, guys. Let me know if you enjoyed that attack. I'm pretty happy that that worked out. Are we going to time fail? I hope not. I mean, how many Hog Riders are left over here, guys? That is an army of Hog Riders. That is so many left over. So Queen Charge was epic. King got that funnel. Worked perfectly. GG to the Hog Riders for getting that one done, despite it not being the best of attacks. However, that wraps it up for this one. We're here daily for Clash of Clans videos, so be sure to come back tomorrow. However, if you want to see the miners and Hog Riders broken down in a bit more depth, I'm going to link it on your screen right here. Go ahead and check that one out. It will break down that strategy for you, but that wraps it up for this one. Until next time, guys, peace out.